Hi guys. So I'm not dead. Everything's fine. Nothing has occurred. I'm just slow. I haven't put any videos out for 3 weeks. I'm really sorry. A couple of things I'll get into real quick. The guitar. People want to know what's up with the guitar. Nothing has changed so far. I am firm on my convictions that sanding was a mistake on this, and because there was no binder at all, it was just alcohol and dye. Sanding and blowing it off just basically unevenly blew all the dye out, or blew a lot of it out. So it's really kind of, from there it looks great, but up close it looks like crap. So what I'm going to do eventually, when I finally get around it, I'll get into about that in a bit, is I'm going to make a template that is smaller, about an inch smaller, and I'm going to set it about an inch off the surface and use that to sort of mask this center area, but also give the feathering, and then I'll spray around it sort of straight on, and that'll give me a boundary line, but it'll be a faded boundary line. So we'll see what happens there when I get around to it. It is not over. I'm not giving up. I will say I am definitely getting a little project fatigue, or definitely have had project fatigue on this one for a while. More on that in a little bit. So the other bit, I have been really busy making branding irons, and that has really been sort of the focus of the last few months. March was my second biggest month. It almost beat out December, so things are rolling really well there, which is good because that keeps my chief shareholder, aka the one who holds this thing, that keeps her really happy, and that's a good thing. So some of that has been going on. It sort of has taken over the shop a bit. So like the CNC is pretty much set up to run branding irons, and that's really all it's doing. I haven't done so part of why I don't have the guitar thing done is I want to cut that template. I want to cut it on the CNC, but I need to free up the CNC long enough to get that done. But I have been a little busy with the irons, so that's what makes that sort of delay. Also, I've got some aluminum extrusions, 80-20 aluminum extrusions, pretty cool. Extrusions, it's pretty cool. Not excrusions, that's just what happens for people when they listen to me speak. They suffer from excrusions. Eh? No? Can't go 3 weeks and make jokes like that. You gotta up that quality, Beamer. Alright, so I've got the 80-20 extrusions. I'm gonna show you a quick little rendering of the design, because that's gonna be the next build series, is that machine. I'm gonna be building a CNC router, a second CNC router. I've got a spindle, I've got linear rails, I got the 80-20, I got a bunch of, back here, I don't know if you can see it, but back here's a bunch of aluminum plate that'll be used for the design. So here's a rendering animation of kind of a walk around the machine as I've got it designed. No, the rails will not be pink and green and yellow. Those are just so I keep track of which axis the items are. So here's that. One of the other things that this little business venture of mine has shown to me is I need to optimize processes and workflows and batch processing. And one piece of this whole thing is kind of a pain in my butt. It's really annoying for me. And that's the handle. The wood part, not so much. I can knock these out in probably 5 minutes a piece. And I'm using scrap wood. I actually kind of, much as I say I dislike turning, after making 140 or so of them, 150 of them, I've made a few. I've gotten the process down, and I actually kind of I'm finding the zen of making the wooden part. Problem comes with the steel part. It's like a 5/16 steel rod with a 1/4-20 thread on one end. See here. And that's it's not the prettiest of threads, but on my mini lathe, doing 100 or 200 or more, it's tedious as all hell. And so I started looking around to get some bids to have these made. It's basically 7 inches long, driven into the wood about that far, about an inch and a quarter, inch and a half. So driven into the woods, about 7 inches long, with about 270 thou of 1/4 thread sticking out. That threads into the brass bit as the handle. So what I would like to get from you guys, if you guys know, who should I be looking for? Because I've asked a couple of machine shops. I actually asked John Saunders from NYC CNC. He was really helpful. It wasn't a good fit for his equipment, his team, so it was not. We didn't end up making a deal on that. But you know, it was really helpful to get ideas from him on the steel and that sort of stuff. So what I'm reaching out is, you guys are the village that I am a part of, that I want your input. So my brain says, you take a big long stick of steel, you have a lathe that just has a feeder, you turn it, thread it, feed it forward, part it off, turn it, thread it, feed it, part it, you know, just automate that. But I don't know what to look for in CNC or in machine shop, like credentials. Like, do I just have to call everybody? God, I hate talking to people. This is nice because I'm just talking to a camera and you guys are there. But having to talk to people is kind of I need to get over that, is what I need to do. But you know, if you guys have input, I'd love to get some input on. I got to make these handles. I'm trying to find bids for, like, you know, 500 of these, because I'm gonna do a lot. I've done 150 since the beginning of December, and I have a feeling the beginning of December was lighter than it will be this year. Kind of scared to see what Christmas is going to look like. So what I want to do is not spend forever on these, and I'm trying to get a sense of how much I should get for that, how much that should cost me. You know, the steel doesn't matter. It's kind of a polished. I like that it's polished, but it doesn't have to be stainless. Stainless would be fine. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But the one machine shop I've been to in town suggested 12L14, which is a leaded steel. It's a screw machine through steel. It's meant for being threaded, and it's a clean steel. But I think it's a bit more expensive. So I'm not sure. This is really rambling. But if you guys have suggestions or opinions, put them in the comments down there well, down there. Don't put, anyway. So anyway, yeah, give me that if you've got it. I'd love to hear from you on that. What else do I have to talk about? One other thing. This is random, just filler stuff, but oh, that light is great, isn't it? Anyway, I've been saving all of the brass shavings from this little adventure of mine. And I've got probably right now, oh man, that's heavy. I've probably got 15 pounds of just brass shavings. I kind of one day want to do a foundry where I can melt stuff down and cast it. Like, is that even worth saving? What do you guys think? And how hot? I think I have to go to like 23 or 2400 degrees to get it to melt. I'd have to look that up. I pulled that number completely out of my rear end. I have no idea what temperature brass melts at. I should look at that. So anyway, that's a kind of a hobby thing someday that I'd like to get into. But once I get this dedicated CNC machine done, that'll free up the main CNC router, and I can start doing other products and things like that. And I also really quickly want to say thank you very much to those of you that have gone to Patreon and sponsored me, especially this month, since it's been such a light month. I'm really sorry that I haven't been pumping out much for videos right now. When I get to building this CNC, that's going to be the next series, so I'll start shooting a lot more footage and have more for you. But I want to get the guitar finished, so that's coming up. I don't want to promise something and say, you know, it'll be next week, because I did that once and I already broke the promise. I think I've got a lot of material coming in because I'm low on brass stock, so I have a lot of prep, so there's going to be a lot of time there. I might shoot a video of that. It's a little monotonous, but it's kind of a window into, maybe it's interesting for some of you guys, it's a window into small time mass production type, not mass, but you know, like these guys here. These are my blanks of 1-inch brass rounds that are turned on both faces and threaded on one side. And this literally, when an order comes in, I grab this, I stick it onto a fixture on my CNC, I zero off the Z, and then I run the code. It's that quick, so I have them all prepared. So there's probably, oh, I'd say 20, 40, 50, 60 some. There's probably 60 or so in here. There were 80 some odd not too long ago. I made that batch out of a 5-foot long chunk. I've got 4 feet of 2-inch brass coming because I've only got 3 of those right now, and I got a bunch of 1/2-inch brass coming. So there's a bunch of like the process, and I might actually farm that out too to have these blanks prepared. Might be another thing I farm out, but for now I don't mind turning it. Brass is really nice to work. So anywho, I think that was enough rambling. Again, thank you to the Patreon people who have pledged, and I have failed this month. I'm sorry, this past month. I'm going to work on that, I promise. You're going to get something. I'm not sure if it'll be great, but I've never thought any of it was great, so, you know, I just put it out there, and that's what's going on in the shop. Yeah, I'm really sorry for not having some footage for you guys. I thank you all that have reached out and checked on me. I appreciate that. That was very kind. Rumors of my death have never even been started. Anyways, thank you all for sticking with me. I'm sorry for the delays and the silence. Just been kind of figuring out the new changes here. So anyway, yeah, I think that's all I should ramble on about. Why don't we get after it?